Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice to attend the meetings of public bodies of which any business affecting or interest in discussion or acted upon in accordance with the provision of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Ed has caused notice of this meeting to be published on, wrong date, so, of January, I have January 11th, okay. And posted on the district website at www.FLBOE.com, published in the board's designated online media outlet and newspapers. The record and the Star Ledger filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and may be broadcasted on local TV and online. Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines whether corporeal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of the body. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Byers-Kang.
Here.
Ms. Colback is not here. Ms. Curry.
Here.
Mr. Knight.
Here.
Mrs. Kotang.
Here.
Mr. Lopez is not here. Ms. Morrell.
Here.
Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Mrs. Richter.
Here.
She's on.
Did you hear me?
You. Okay. The board will be convening to executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. The board will reconvene into public session at approximately 7:30 p.m. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Curry, second by Ms. Tanya Bang, yeah. Oh, it was Kate, I'm sorry, Amy. By Amy Coten. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're now in executive session.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 11th, 2024, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media outlet newspaper, The Record and the Star Ledger, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised this meeting is being recorded and may be broadcasted on local TV and online at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines meeting as any gathering, whether corporeal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Byers-Kang.
Here.
Ms. Colback.
Here.
Ms. Curry.
Here.
Mr. Knight.
Here.
Mrs. Kotang.
Here.
Mr. Lopez.
He's on the screen.
You done what? I can see them. All
Yeah.
right, we'll see. Ms. Morale.
Hey,
Here.
can you hear me now?
Yes, Doug, thanks.
Mr.
Sorry,
Rubino.
folks.
Here. The board convened executive session at 6:30 PM to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. We will first begin with public comment on the superintendent's renewal of contract. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public for this agenda item only?
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Curry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, we will hear first from any members of the public physically located here tonight. Then we will take questions from those participating remotely. Everyone is limited to 3 minutes in which to make their statement.
Madam President, I just make a statement. Thank you. To members of the board and public, just so the record is clear, pursuant to state statute, the board has to go through a process prior to altering or amending or rescinding a superintendent's contract, namely notice 30 days in advance of the date of said action, and then a notice 10 days before that date. Both notices were timely and adequately published in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. In addition, this board did pass a resolution previously authorizing the proposed new contract to be sent to the Executive County Superintendent of Bergen County. The Executive County Superintendent has reviewed and approved the proposed contract as to legality and form. So now it's subject to review by the board prior to implementation. Just so the public and board are reminded, the only substantive changes to the contract are essentially an additional 4 years. The superintendent is in the last year of his current contract, which is and or was applicable October 1, 2021 through June 30, 2025. The new proposed contract would be effective retroactive to July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2029. So it's a 5-year contract, but in essence, it's netting the district and the superintendent for additional years. The salary in the current year of the superintendent's current contract is $215,000. The new proposed salary for the 24-25 year will be $257,239 if approved by the board, and there will be 2% annual increases for the 25-26, 26-27, 27-28, 28-29, i.e. the balance of the 4 years of the contract, again, if approved by the board, and I'll defer to the board and public for any other comments.
Are there any members of the public who have comments on this item only?
Good evening, my name is Andrew Goodman, 326 Bridge Plaza North. I have a question. So I have a simple question, like why are we amending the contract? Instead of, nothing personal, but instead of going backwards, with the contract, we just go forward. Let the contract expire when it does, and then just, renew it. But why amend the contract when then what's the purpose of the contract? I don't understand it. Like, I can't go to my boss and say, hey, our contract, you know what, cancel my contract, and I want, that's part of contract negotiations, in my opinion. So, again, I just feel that we should just keep the contract and just move, like I said, move forward with it. Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak on this item? Okay. Mr. Ruggiero, are there any raised hands for this item?
There are no raised hands.
Okay. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public for this item?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second Curry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Dr. Kravitz, will you begin by giving your superintendent's report?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. As we stated at the last meeting, actually our countdown is down to 16 days until school begins. This week, the administrative team will be conducting their annual training, where we will be discussing academics as well as team building, as well as setting our goals. Buildings are almost clean, and as of tonight, with tonight's agenda, we are fully staffed except for a few maternity leave replacements, approximately 4, which should be filled by September 30th. So we have some interviews scheduled tomorrow as well as the rest of the week. Thank you to all the staff who have worked over the summer to make sure everything is ready for our students. That includes the supervisors, the cleaning, the custodial staff, the central office staff. I appreciate all the hard work that has been taken care of over the summer. On a personal note, I would like to thank the Board of Education for the recent contract offer. It's been wonderful to work in this place that I like to call home. It is always a special place in my heart. It's where I began my career, and I am delighted to continue to stay in Fort Lee and make it a place to be. So thank you.
Are there any committee reports?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello? Hi, this is, so at President Richter's suggestion, the Mayor and Council Committee met to discuss possible transfer of land from BOE to Borough, transfer of land from the BOE to Borough of Fort Lee. Present at the meeting was Mayor Mark, Council President Sommer, Councilman Severi, Councilman Sue, Councilman Drumble, BOE Vice President Morel, Mike Rubino, Douglas Lopez, and I. We discussed a proposal from the town to transfer a baseball field and the associated land from the BOE to the borough. The borough intends on making improvements to the land, such as laying turf and rehabbing the facilities. The land would remain the property of the borough going forward. Good arguments were made on both sides. Given that the majority agreed, it can be found on tonight's agenda as item 3B. Personally, I think it's a big deal and worth soliciting public opinion about. That's it.
Any other committee reports?
Yes. The curriculum committee met twice in August. Some key items that were discussed is the MTSS initiative that the district has undertaken, the training development in that in the MTSS program. It's been piloted in School 1, first grade, and will now be expanded to School 2, 3, and 4 among the first grade, and also the among the second and third grade at School 3. We encourage parents to inquire about the program, especially at back to school nights, find out more about it, and you can find out how you can support the school leadership, and the teachers in its implementation. And I know that this is a big initiative under Dr. Kravitz and Ms. Baker, so we want it to succeed, and we want everyone in the district to help and be champions of it. The district is also considering American Institute of Research to help provide training in intervention in Tier 1 classrooms. American Institute of Research has successfully provided training to other districts, so we're very, very excited to have them bring that to a staff in our district. We also discuss the math and advancement program in 7th grade. It's the first time that children in the district are given an opportunity to advance in those two areas, and we encourage the building supervisors as well as our central office to continue to work together so that families can learn more about it in advance, and not during the summer month and only to find out, it may be too late to prepare their kids for it. So we are very excited that hopefully this will be something that family can get more involved and support their children in that path, and advance in math and ELA earlier. The instructional program programming in basic skill courses are being evaluated to be standardized across the schools, and Ms. Baker is undertaking that effort to ensure that the quality and also the support is being given equally in every school. And then finally, there are some updates to the student code of conduct, which is on the agenda tonight, and most of the updates are related to items of infringement. Is that the right term? Infraction. We also, how Ms. Morel raised a request for the district to consider
modifying the code of conduct by school or by grade level so that it's more age appropriate. And hopefully in the future we'll have more defined code of conduct for various level of student. Thank you.
Any other committee reports?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on what Casey said as liaison, is that okay?
Sure.
I'm in total agreement of selling it to the town. It's only gonna improve our children's lives with sports and a safer field, as well as we own, it's not part of the deal, 3.7 acres of wood right behind us between 13th Street to 15th Street off of Stillwell. So down the line, if we need to do something, we all have all that room. That's all.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Okay. Do board members have questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic?
So I have a comment on Resolution 3B. I would like to be able to get behind the resolution. It talks about exploring the possibility of amending our long-range facility plan, exploring a lease or other disposition. The fourth whereas clause talks about certain due diligence and background work to be done. So I would propose that the board strike the second whereas clause, because until that work is done and we've done the exploration and we've done the due diligence, I don't think we're in a position as a board that we have determined that the 10th Street field owned by the board is not suitable or convenient and or is not needed for school purposes. So I would strike that second whereas clause, and I think the remainder is fine. So I'd make a motion that we strike the second whereas clause as premature.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
Yeah, we'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Discussion about it first,
Go ahead.
right? Yeah. What is striking that mean? I mean, how does that make a difference in this?
Well, practically nothing, because this resolution, again, is not authorizing the conveyance of the property. It is essentially memorializing the board's intent to proceed toward that. So by striking that language, I mean, that language would be required if and when the board does decide to sell the property. It's required by the Commission of Education for the board to certify or state that it's not necessary for education purposes. But for now, you're just doing your due diligence for other matters. So it's fine by striking it right now.
And what happened between now and then?
Well, this is where we talk about getting negotiations, any type of real property, would be surveys or assessments, et cetera, that all will be done. Even if that language stayed, it wouldn't be the sale today. So that's what I'm saying, just to get the process moving, get the horse kind of out the gate, it's not gonna, this actually speeds it up. Versus you not approving this, then nothing happens. So this at least gets you closer.
Any other discussion?
So the motion is just to strike that second paragraph, not the entire.
Correct, correct.
You want to strike the whereas the Fort Lee Board of Education has
Correct.
determined the 10th.
The
I
second
think some
whereas
people just
clause.
feel uncomfortable saying that the land is like unusable. I think that's it. I think it's just a matter of semantics, and I think we can all get behind it.
That's the first
Well,
paragraph already.
Unusable isn't, this language doesn't say it's unusable.
Yeah.
It basically says it's not
Not
needed for
School
future purposes. So I think what Mrs. Colback is saying is that until the business office, until the board and the administration, look at the current long-range facility plan, look at your demographics, your projected increase or decrease in school-age population, et cetera, perhaps let's not make that decision that you don't need it until you look at that. Now, presumptively, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna see some contractions, some increases, and say that the net effect is the same, so let's proceed. But you don't wanna proceed until you kind of have more data in front of you, that's all.
Can I do the roll call now?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll come back to you, Mrs. Larkin. Ms. Colbath?
Yes.
Ms. Curry?
Yes.
Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Mrs. Cottang?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
No.
Mr. Rubino?
Pass.
what did you say?
Pass.
Oh, abstain.
Not abstaining, pass.
Okay,
Come
and
back
Mrs.
to him. You want her to come back to you, Mike?
Okay, Mrs. Richter?
No.
Okay, and then Mrs. Byers Kay?
Yes.
And Mr. Rubino?
No.
Can I just chime in here? Because I was breaking up here in my audio, my connection. What exactly is it that we were voting on? Is it the language that Paula just was questioning?
Yeah, she wants to amend it to say
We're just
everything
striking-
except the second paragraph.
Gotcha. So can I just change my vote? Sorry, it's just having terrible connection here.
Yeah, no problem. So what do you want to vote?
So I'd like to vote no.
Okay.
Mrs. Mesmer, can you just state what the result of that vote was?
All right, 5-4, 5 yeses to 4 noes, so the motion passes.
So again, the motion just modified the resolution, so if you want to do a vote now, or you can wait until you do everything else, it's up to you.
I'll move that we approve 3B as amended.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Which one now?
She wants to move to approve 3B now.
As amended.
As amended, okay.
Discussion.
Mrs. Byers Kay?
Yes.
Do we not want
Yes.
public comment on that? Does anyone
Yes.
from the public wants to
Yeah.
talk about it? I mean, we were talking about how important public comment is, and now we're gonna vote before the public gets to speak.
Yep, that's very important.
So if we're removing the second day, you want to withdraw it to move on, or you want to vote now?
It's fine, we'll withdraw it. I thought they wanted to move ahead on the vote.
I have a question regarding 4CUR and
We're still on 3B?
No, we're on board member comments or questions on the agenda.
we still. Are those different CPR training? Is there a reason
Which
one is
resolution?
under 4CUR versus 9P?
I know what 4CUR is, I have to look at them.
They're both CPR training.
One is to recertify the for car coaches. And then the other is for, it's a different group of people, bus
Okay.
drivers, teachers, nurses. So one is to recertify.
Anyone else have questions or comments on the agenda? Okay. So we do have a walk-on resolution tonight, that would be item 20P. And it will read, therefore be it resolved, the Fort Lee Board of Education, upon recommendation of the superintendent, approves the withholding of the employment / adjustment increment of employee number X774 for the 2024-2025 school year. And that will be 20P.
What number is that gonna be?
20P.
1 through 2.
Okay, may I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion. Second.
Motion Morales, second by King, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, we will hear first from members of public physically located here, then we will take questions from those participating remotely. Everyone is limited to 3 minutes in which to make their statement. For remote participants, please select the raised hand button, and Mr. Ruggiero will recognize you in the order of raised hands by lowering your hand. Unmute your microphone, and everyone, please state your name and address for the record and begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Anyone in the audience with us want to speak?
Evening again, my name is Andrew Goodman, 326 Bridge Plaza North. Just so everybody knows, I'm the Vice President CPAC. We are making a lot of progress. We met, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, the executive leadership of CPAC with Dr. Kravitz, a very good meeting. We're actually meeting tomorrow morning again. Okay, just to remind everyone, we have the meet and greet coming up on the 29th at 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock, right, from 10 to 11, I think in this building or in this building, I believe, the media center, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Yes, so, you know, we just will hope that hopefully we'll get, you know, a nice turnout. We hope some of the board members can come. I'm gonna try and make it, unfortunately, I work, but in schools, but I will try to make it. I checked this morning, this afternoon, I didn't see the flyer on the website, on the homepage. I don't know if it's like behind the scenes somewhere, but if that could be posted like on the homepage, like under the announcements section, with the flyer.
We'll make sure it gets done right.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, also the 18 to 21-year-old program at Tom Hunter Road, okay? What is the plan for meal service for the students? Because currently, there's no cafeteria, you know, it's like one room basically. So the students can be bused over to one of the locations, or will meals be delivered into that location for meals?
Is there any other questions you have?
Yes, yeah. Next, okay, on 12P regarding the contract for Dr. Sharon Amato, is that gonna be to fill the interim position, I guess, or temporary position for the special needs supervisor? And if so, it seems like it's a lot of money, I don't know the going rate, but isn't there someone on staff that maybe we could give like a stipend to, to do extra work to fill those shoes temporarily, till the new director, comes in October?
Any other questions, Ms. Gu? Okay, so Dr. Amato is familiar with the district. She has a proper certification to serve in that role as an interim. And we felt rather than taking someone else from that position, especially since they're the opening of the year, they all have a lot of work to do, it would be the best course of action. As far as the meal question, I received that similar question from someone else today. Some days they cooked in class.
Right.
Some students brought lunch from home, and they had gotten the option of getting from the high school cafeteria on their way back to the building after work, so the bus would take them there. On days where you're out in the community, they purchase lunch and have the option to bring it from home. An email was sent to the parents a few weeks ago, giving students the option to make their lunch daily. They were told, the parents, that they could go to Acme as a group, and on Monday morning, they would purchase cold cuts and things to make sandwiches, so they would practice that life skill.
Okay, so there'll be like a bus taking them to the high school?
Well, this is what they did last year, and they were told by the teacher at 4:50 this afternoon that they were gonna be doing the same thing. So what they did last year, like I said, they would go to the cafeteria by the bus after their work shifts in the community. They would stop, or they would do that before, or they would have the option of making
Okay, I
lunch.
just want to make sure that there will be transportation available, because, sometimes there's, bad rain or some light snow and stuff like that.
No, from what I was told by the teacher, that's what they were doing last year.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak?
How's it going? How's everything? Kyle Sanford, 809 Harvard Place, Fort Lee, New Jersey. I just want to speak to you guys about past meetings and about doing away with Zoom. That's one thing. And the other thing is.
Can you get a little closer?
And the other thing is,
Beautiful.
I want to, we talked about it before, about the school softball, about they were playing softball here, and about transportation to up places where they can't get, like my daughter had to walk from here to the other field, so I'm trying to find that out. That said, it would be done at a later date, so I don't want that to get missed. But let's do the Zoom first, all right, let's do the Zoom first. Open Public Meetings Act. In essence, the OPM mandates in the public right to attend and participate in board meetings. Must be preserved regardless of whether the meetings are held in person or virtual. Would you like to know more about Open Public Meetings Act? They must ensure that the public has adequate access. This includes providing clear instructions on how to join the meeting, offering phone-in options, and ensuring accessibility for individuals with disabilities. So I know with my union, if we don't get to what's, I understand you guys wanna, the meetings get too long and if that's the issue, that's why you guys wanna do away with Zoom, that's okay. But in my meetings with the union and everything, we allow, if you can't get in there, there's a little drop-down box where you can ask a question at the end of the meeting. And somebody will email you back, you leave your name, your number, or the email, and somebody from, during the week or whatever, somebody will get back to you with the answer to your question. I don't know if that's possible, or if that's feasible, when you go on Zoom. I know you guys, you can limit the meeting to a certain time frame, whatever. If that's the issue with the Zoom meetings, I just don't understand. So I'm just trying to help make it easy. It's hard to get. Some people will work until 6, 7 o'clock, 8, 9 o'clock at night, so.
Right.
That's it.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
All right, so the whole thing with the Zoom, we had a discussion last week. We pulled it off the agenda and we haven't put it back on to remove it.
Okay, so it's off the agenda now? It's done?
It's been off, yeah.
Okay,
Since last meeting.
that's even better, thank you.
And to answer your question about the busing, so we're still looking at, where we can save money for busing. We've discussed busing before. We keep looking at options to have enough money to make sure that it can support all of the routes, because we know that if we do it for one, we have to do it for every sport. So that's one of the things that we were assessing.
I understand, but in essence, if my daughter's getting out at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, and she's going to a school sport, in essence, the school is somewhat responsible for my daughter. Just so you know this, I know this. You understand? It's a school function.
Thank you for your
All
comment.
right? I just want to make sure they got clear.
Anyone else in the audience?
Hello, Brian Drumble, 9 Drury Lane in Fort Lee. Just want to come out here and say thank you. I've been working with numerous board members regarding one of your resolutions tonight, 3B, in the 10th Street field. There's been a lot of discussions, even predates me. I think it will be a big victory for Fort Lee, that's my personal opinion, and the many students and residents in this town, and most importantly, the taxpayers in this town, for many, many reasons. I encourage everybody to do their due diligence, but I thought it was extremely important to come here, thank President Richter, Vice President Morale, your liaison, Mike Rubino, and all of the board members, Casey as the committee chair. We just recently, the last meeting was this past week with Dr. Kravitz as well. I thought it was a productive meeting, we moved in the right direction, and it's very encouraging to see everybody working together. Paula, making sure that the due diligence is done, I encourage it, I welcome it, it's the smart thing to do. Not that that wasn't going to be done, I'm sure of it, but I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and I look forward, and I'm hopeful that this is the step forward in a very long process that will benefit many residents for years to come in Fort Lee. So thank you, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak?
We need 458 Westwood Place, 14.
Yeah, it just turned on.
Working fine before you came.
I'm living in 458 Westwood Place, 14. This is going to be short but not pleasant. So this is for every board member. If a member of the public are speaking, you guys have to listen, you have to pay attention. Last time, someone was speaking from the Zoom, you were chatting and giggling with the board member next to you. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. You have no respect. This just shows you have no respect to public opinion. Sorry. I'm not calling the board members. I'm calling you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? Okay, Mr. Ruggiero?
Hey, Sarah Kesha, you've been promoted to panelist. Please unmute your microphone and feel free to share your video. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Yes, do you hear and do you see me? Good evening. Hello?
We can hear you.
Can you please allow the video to be open? Thank you. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I live at 484 Main Street, Fort Lee, New Jersey. I wanted to echo one of the parents that he spoke in regards to the Zoom. I've been asking for that feature to be added so we can drop like comments, our email addresses, and or our phone numbers there so we can get in touch with the other parents while participating in the meeting. So we need that kind of to be like a pattern. I have had meetings at work as well, and everybody is able to chat a little bit while the meeting is going on. So we need that option added. Now, another thing is that also another parent mentioned is the via Zoom. When, let's say I ask questions now, and then I want to hear the answer from any of the board members, we need at least a pause, like a minute, because for me to get back to the Queenie again to hear you, it's like a blank moment. And then when, for example, Ms. Kravitz is talking, I don't know what he said in regards to my question, and then I have to go the next day to YouTube to listen to it, and it's time taking. So allow a moment after we finish off here, and then so we can absorb what happened, and then so we can hear the complete answer. Now, it was, I don't know, also echoing the other parent, while I asked questions, it seemed that when Mr. Kravitz answered, his answer, I heard it on YouTube the next day, was off. I asked for people that have HIV not to deal with the preparation of food. His answer was like, yeah, we have harassment laws in place for HIV people. We know that, I know that. So I just didn't want them to deal with our children's food, and I didn't just want to deal them to be like one-on-one with our children. That's it. As far as for selling the property, unfortunately, I'm against it. If anything, I would have invited the town of Fort Lee to sponsor and to help, but still the property in the end should have been belonging to Fort Lee, to the schools. If anything, I have a huge question, which I have been wondered, and it hurts me when I pass by the wooden area behind the middle and high school. The woods are falling badly. It's, I don't know, it at least needs an inspection and then a trimming of the trees, because it's a safety matter. I don't know what's happening with that area. It's all grass and grown weeds there. And as I said, the woods are decayed and are falling. So I need a question, I need an answer, like, is anyone addressing the safety? I understand that you're out of the funds. It's a huge issue with our nation funding other things instead of funding our schools. We're not going to get there, but I just need a question. Is anyone addressing the safety issue of those woods falling all over us, and then the broken sidewalks there? Is anyone addressing that? Please, when you talk, don't use abbreviations. For example, I heard the students are the STL students. What that means, I don't know. So we need to hear the
Ms.
complete
Kesha,
thing.
your 3 minutes has expired.
All right, if you wanted to let me just one more issue I had to bring, if not, then that's fine. Do you want me to talk or just that's it?
Your 3 minutes have gone way past, so thank you.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, okay.
Thank you for your comment. As far as the facilities, we'll have the facilities director take a look around the high school as well as the middle school grounds.
I think the area by the high school is Palisades State Parkway property, if I'm not, if she's talking about beyond the.
I think she's speaking behind the, we spoke last year, and we've done some pruning last year, about 13th Street, right?
We also repaired the fire hydrants, the fire prevention.
And right now, the street has been closed, and they will be paving it for the next 2 days, so we'll take a look.
Jocelyn, you've been promoted to panelist. Please unmute your microphone and feel free to share your video. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Goslin, you're muted.
I know this button's not working. Thank you, Jason. Keith Goslin, 2185 Lemoyne Avenue, Fort Lee. President of our Special Education Parents Advisory Group, CPAG. Just reminding, I know Andrew did already, but extra advertisement never hurts. August 29th at the Lewis F. Cole Media Center on Stillwell Avenue from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're having that child study team meet and greet. So thank you to everybody who worked on it, Andrew Goodman, Cynthia Hanna, Dr. Kravitz, and Diana Davis. Appreciate your help with that, and congrats on the new contract as well, Dr. Davis. And that's it. I hope to see as many parents at the meet and greet who have children in the system with IEPs and 504s. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Faten Hassan, you've been promoted to panelist. Please unmute your microphone and feel free to share your video. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I want to thank you on behalf of the Muslim community, especially the children who attend.
Sorry, could you just state your address and full name for the record?
I'm sorry, Faten Hassan, Kingsland Lane, Fort Lee.
Thank you.
I want to thank you on behalf of the Muslim community, especially the children who attend Fort Lee, for including on the 24-25 school calendar that Eid al-Fitr is observed. It was observed, it states that it's observed in March. It really helps the children feel seen as human beings, and it helps them feel just as recognized and as important as the rest of the students in the school and the town. I noticed that last year it wasn't even on the calendar. And so I'm so happy that there's some progress. Thank you so much again. I'd like to ask, when will there be a plan to have this holiday officially recognized as, just like the others, as a day off for the children? I'd like to know if that's in the works, and if it's not, what can be done to get that to happen? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Every year, the Board of Education receives sample calendars, which include a lot of the holidays. I know it is difficult to make sure that we encompass everyone's holiday. So, we're open to conversations, we're open to suggestions, and I appreciate yours. So as we build next year's calendar, which is sometime in January, February, that will be taken into account as the board makes a decision of how the holiday falls and whether or not it can be incorporated. But yes, we wanted to recognize it for this year.
Religious holidays could be excused days off, correct?
Yes, religious holidays are excused days. Every year, the New Jersey Department of Education lists all of the holidays that are excused for every student in the state of New Jersey, so that's the list available to anyone in the state.
There are no more raised hands.
Thank you. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Colback, second, Morel, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, moving on to resolutions. May I have a motion to approve items 1B through 3B as amended?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Colback, second, Morel, roll call please.
Mrs. Byers King,
Yes.
Ms. Colback,
Yes.
Mrs. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Knight,
Yes.
Mrs. Kotang,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino,
Yes.
Mrs. Richter.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve items 1 CUR through 8 CUR?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Morel, second, Kotang, roll call please.
Mrs. Byers King,
Yes.
Ms. Colback,
Yes.
Mrs. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Knight,
Yes.
Mrs. Kotang,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino,
Yes.
Mrs. Richter.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve items 1F through 11F?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Curry, second, Rubino, roll call please.
Mrs. Byers King,
Yes.
Ms. Colback,
Yes, and thank you to all the very, very generous donors under 5F.
Mrs. Curry,
Yes.
Mr. Knight,
Yes.
Mrs. Kotang,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Mrs. Richter.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve items 1P through walk-in resolution 20P?
Motion.
Second. Motion Morel, second Curry, roll call please.
Mrs. Byers Kane.
Yes.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. Knight.
Yes, with a big congratulations to Howard Ginsburg, the dog whisperer.
Mrs. Kotang.
You'll
Yes.
find out.
Mr. Lopez. Mr. Lopez. I'll go back to him. Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Mrs. Richter.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
I'm sorry, we're voting on 1P, correct, through,
1P through 20.
20.
okay, yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 1, POL?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Rubino, second Colbath, roll call please.
Mrs. Byers Kane.
Yes.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Mrs. Curry.
Yes.
Mr. Knight.
Yes.
Mrs. Kotang.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Mrs. Richter.
Yes. Moving on, is there any old business?
I'd like to thank all the volunteers that helped out at St. Rocco Peace. 11th and 12th graders did an excellent job. They worked very hard, and we appreciate it.
Any new business?
I would just like to say thank you to the Board of Education for the contract for the next 5 years. Appreciate it.
Drinks run.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn? Motion Morel, second Rubino, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you all for coming, have a good night.